The gifted brain and the creative brain, are they even different? Creativity means doing something differently, looking at the world in a new way, potentially changing existing power structures. Creativity is often defined as the ability to come up with new and useful ideas. Like intelligence, it can be considered a trait that everyone, not just creative geniuses like Picasso and Steve Jobs, possess in some capacity. It's not just your ability to draw a picture or design a product. We all need to think creatively in our daily lives, whether it's figuring out how to make dinner using leftovers, or fashioning a Halloween costume out of clothes in your closet. Creative tasks range from what researchers call the little C creativity, making a website, crafting birthday present, or coming up with a funny joke, to big C creativity, writing a speech, composing a poem, or designing a scientific experiment. Recent evidence suggests that creativity involves complex interplay between spontaneous and controlled thinking, the ability to do both, spontaneously brainstorm ideas and deliberately evaluate them to determine whether they'll actually work. Children are gifted when their ability is significantly above the norm of their age. Giftedness may manifest in one or more domains such as intellectual, creative, artistic, leadership, or in an academic field such as language arts, mathematics, or science. Gifted brains can also be creative brains, and according to Renzulli, they often are. We often think our gifted students are divergent thinkers, but there is a link between creativity and divergency. There is also a difference between creative giftedness and academic giftedness. I mentioned Renzulli's three-ring model a little bit earlier, but we see here that creativity, task commitment, and above-average ability is where we find giftedness. When we discuss gifted learners, as well as creative learners, we often mention the phenomenon of achievement versus ability. What is that difference? We can better understand achievement and ability by comparing them through an analogy. Achievement is to ability as performance is to competence. One problem that is because competence is hidden, and it's not always well reflected by performance. It becomes difficult to determine whether a second language learner is actually competent in that language. Another problem is that language learning is not instant. It occurs over time. Consequently, early performance may not be as proficient as it could be after years of learning and practice. At what point should we begin to measure performance and to determine whether a learner is performing as he should be? Perhaps it's better to measure progress. But then how much progress should be expected, and at what points should progress be measured? Tolan compares a non-achieving gifted child to a non-running cheetah. Even when a cheetah isn't running, it still has the ability to run. The cheetah could be locked in a cage and wouldn't even try to run, but it still has the ability to run. A child with high ability who is stuck in a dull academic environment with no challenge is like a cheetah locked in a cage. She still has high ability, but she may not even try to achieve. The absence of achievement isn't an indication that a child lacks ability. Both ability and achievement have to do with the three-tiered process. The three tiers are genes, individual choices, and environment. Ability does not yield achievement, nor does achievement yield ability. However, they do go hand in hand, almost like a stepping stone from one to another. As with any form of development, nature and nurture do play a large role in both creative minds and gifted minds. In order for a student to be successful, we expect that they have both positive nature and positive nurture. So to answer the question, is there a difference? The answer isn't so black and white. A gifted mind can be a creative mind, but a creative mind isn't necessarily a gifted mind. The gifted mind is unlike any other.